ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਹਮਦਰਦ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਸ 'ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਆਫ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਐਂਡ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਹੁਸੈਨ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਬੰਧਿਤ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਬੰਧਿਤ ਜੋ ਨਵੀਆਂ ਅਪਡੇਟਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਣੂ ਕਰਵਾਉਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਜਨਰਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਨੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ 'ਚ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸੋ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਵੈਲਕਮ on the show.
Thank you for
Before I talk on any policy issues,
yes,
because you are not just as a politician or as a minister, as a person also you symbolize Canada's immigration program. So such an amazing story from a ordinary immigrant to Minister of Immigration. So can you talk about a little bit about that?
yes. I have to tell you that my story can only happen in a country like Canada, and I was able to succeed in this country because of the generosity and the kindness of Canadians and how Canadians have traditionally helped newcomers. All newcomers restart their lives in Canada, and they certainly helped me. So it's quite an honor to now to be the Immigration and Refugees and Citizenship Minister for the very ministry that helped me when I was a new immigrant and refugee. So it's a privilege, it's an honor, and I hope that I will continue that tradition of welcome and compassion and assisting newcomers of all backgrounds to restart their lives in Canada and succeed. Because the story of Canada is the story of immigration. We need immigration to continue to have economic growth and then for all of us to prosper. So, and I think Canadians understand that the value and the role that immigrants play in our society.
So I believe that every minister brings his own vision to the ministry.
Yes.
So as a minister, what are your priorities or 2-3 main items on your agenda? Can
Okay.
you talk about?
I will tell you my priorities. Number one, in 2017, we have the highest level of immigration that we have planned. 300,000 landings of new permanent residents that we are projecting. Among that, 172,000 are in the economic class, so skilled immigrants, provincial nominee program, express entry, those kinds of immigrants. And then the remainder are refugees and family class immigrants, spouses, parents and grandparents, children, and so on. So we have a very ambitious target this year. 300,000 is a historically high figure. We've never had that high figure in the past. But we believe that as a country we need to maintain high numbers in order to continue to succeed and attract the best and the brightest. But second to that, my second priority is to empower and contribute to the success of the settlement services that we provide for newcomers. So are those settlement services having a good impact on newcomers? Are we teaching language programs effectively? Are they producing the outcomes that we need? Are we helping new immigrants find jobs? And so on. And then finally, which is to me most important piece, is a piece that goes through all of it, which is client service. What do I mean by that? I want the immigration system to have fast processing times and reduce the backlogs that we have in some of the immigration streams, and for anybody, including you or me or anyone else who interacts with the immigration system, to have a good experience. If you call the 1-800 number, I want you to have short waiting period and a pleasant experience. If you go to the website, you can find what you're looking for very easily, and same thing with filling the forms. So client service means we put the client of the immigration department central to the way we look at things, and we say, are these programs working for the newcomer or the Canadian who accesses
so
those
more
programs?
efficient service.
Efficient service. And to be fair, we've already made a lot of progress on some of the categories of immigration, and I can share those.
So we'll talk about all these items, and today you made an important announcement regarding pre-arrival services. So can you elaborate on those?
Yes, so I just came from an event with my colleague Minister Patty Haju, and she's the Minister for Employment and Social Development Canada. She and I announced new funding and programming to enhance funding to enhance existing programming to integrate newcomers into the labor market. So she spoke about the importance, for example, of providing loans for people who come. So you have new immigrants who come, who have internationally trained new immigrants who come. They want to access their profession in Canada, but there's a cost to taking the exams and traveling and doing all these things and accessing the material. So the loan program helps them with that. Under my department, we're expanding the pre-arrival services for newcomers who want to access their professions. How are we doing that? We're doing that by putting more money in our settlement services to expand pre-arrival programs, so that when you have a skilled immigrant in, for example, India, who wants to come, let's say they're an engineer and they want to come to Canada, pre-arrival services helps them to start the process of getting certification in Canada before they even come, applying for licensing before they even come, getting that information about
even the driving, the trade license, you mean?
Yes, so getting that information and starting that process before they even get here.
Okay.
Because a lot of times what happens is an engineer in India who qualifies to come to Canada will arrive, and then start the process of getting into the engineering profession. We want that to start even earlier, and we're through the pre-arrival programs that we're putting more money in now and expanding. We want more skilled immigrants to access those services so that they can start the process of licensing and accessing their professions before they even get here. Second, and most importantly, we're providing more support to the professional bodies that run these programs. We want those professional bodies to do more outreach to newcomers and inform them about what it takes to access those professional bodies and the licensing. And finally, better outreach by these agencies and by the pre-arrival services will certainly help these newcomers access the job
and
market.
these services are available in all source countries?
I wouldn't say all countries, but at least
the
major immigration producing country, major immigrant producing countries. Where our goal is to make it as available as possible. They're also available online, so we will work hard. But the money that we announced today will expand them even more.
I'd like to explain this in Punjabi too. बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट अनाउंसमेंट अज कीती है इन्होंने टोरंटो ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪ੍ਰੀ ਅਰਾਈਵਲ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਕਾਫੀ ਵੱਡੇ ਸਕੇਲ ਤੇ, ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੈਂਟ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਮੁਲਕਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ ਟ੍ਰੇਡਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚੋਂ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਸੈਟਲਮੈਂਟ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਇਕੋਨਮੀ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਬਣਨ 'ਚ ਮਦਦ ਕਰਨਗੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੰਟਰੀ 'ਚ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਐਕਸੈਪਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ 'ਚ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹ ਮਿਲਣਗੀਆਂ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਕਾਫੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਅਨਾਊਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਇਹਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਦਾ ਪੀਰੀਅਡ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ 'ਚ ਆਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਨਵੇਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਦਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਦਦ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ। ਸੋ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ, this is I think is very important. I think the struggle part of new immigrants, it will help to
absolutely
to make it little.
So I'll give you an example. I met an electrician who came from the Caribbean to Canada. He immigrated to Canada in 2012, and he didn't have any supports. He didn't have any mentorship, which these programs help with. When newcomers come here with skills, there's mentorship available in some of the community organizations to allow them to access. When you have a mentor who can answer your questions, who can connect you with the industry, it's very helpful. For example, when I was training to be a lawyer, I had a very good mentor who mentored with me. He's here actually today.
He's my friend.
Harminder Dillon. And through that mentorship, I was able to learn from him and become a lawyer myself. So mentorship is a very important part for new skilled immigrants to enter the job market. So the electrician that I'm talking about, he didn't have any information and he had given up. He was about to just have a regular job with minimum wage, but he was an electrician. And if that had happened, if he didn't practice in his own area, he would have lost, but we would have lost too as a society. We want those skills. There's a shortage of electricians and other skills the technical skills, the trades in Canada. So through him accessing settlement services that are provided by our department through the NGOs, he was able to get mentorship, he was able to get the necessary bridge training to access the Canadian market. Now he's working as an electrician. He's happy, he's making more money for his family, but we are happy too because now we have a skilled immigrant who's practicing in their field and helping all of us because our economy needs those skilled immigrants. We need skilled immigrants in order to continue to grow our economy, and that results in more prosperity for all of us, for you and me. And let me finally say one more thing about settlement. The settlement services that we provide, can we do more and can we do better? Of course. But we have done so well as a country in terms of settling and integrating newcomers. Yep. I went to Europe, to UK, Germany, and Switzerland 3 weeks ago. And everywhere I went, they were praising how we in Canada are able to bring people and integrate them into our market, into our labor market, into our economy, and into our society and our communities in a way that is very, very smooth. And that is because the federal government, through working with communities and provinces and cities, we make settlement a priority. That is why in 2016 and 2017 fiscal year, we have invested $664 million in settlement services alone outside Quebec. That is an increase of $76 million from the previous year. Why are we putting even more money? Because we believe settlement is critical. When you learn when you come to Canada and can learn the language and get job supports and so on and access your profession, if you're a new immigrant who doesn't have a skill but wants to learn the language, wants to access the job market, you need those services. And the faster those people can succeed, the more all of us succeed. So it's a priority for us.
It's a related question because you were talking about the settlement.
Yes.
And some people are talking about a new problem in our society because student visa is becoming now a big part of our immigration program.
Yeah.
So it's a big component now. And some people who are in the settlement services, they feel that there is no program, settlement service for students. They have their unique problems and they need help to be part of Canadian society. So do you think?
That's a good point. I've heard of that. It is an issue because they're not captured under the settlement program because settlement services are for newcomers,
permanent
residents, either skilled immigrants or refugees. So that's something I've heard. It's an interesting question. We do understand a lot of the international students tend to do fine. They don't really need services. Some do, and we have to find out what the number is. We have to analyze that issue. The other piece that I'll tell you though is sometimes they also access municipal services, and we in the federal government through our Canada Social Transfer, we fund social services through that block transfer. It's billions and billions of dollars, and that is based on the numbers of people who are in that province. Whether they're students or asylum seekers or new immigrants, it doesn't matter. So whatever number is there is the money that they'll get next year. So we capture some of that need, but if we need more targeted services for international students under settlement, we would have to revisit the whole
because
framework,
practically, student visa has become a tool of immigration. Theoretically, they are here for study, but practically, it's a big part of our immigration program now. Most of the students stay here after completing their study. They become part of Canadian society as PR. So that's why some people feel that this is like a missing area.
So I'm not sure. I think if you analyze the number of international students that we get, so for example, last year we approved 367,000 international student visas. I don't believe that all of them or most of them will stay after they graduate. They go back to their home countries and contribute. We do, however, in the long term, we do want those who want to stay and contribute to our economy. These are people who speak one or both of our official languages. They have very high skilled. Why wouldn't we want them to stay and contribute to our economy? But saying that most of them stay, I haven't seen the evidence of that.
बड़ा एक इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਨੇ ਉਠਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਦੀ ਕਿ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਕੁਝ ਖਾਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਸ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸੈਟਲਮੈਂਟ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਧਿਆਨ 'ਚ ਰੱਖਣ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਸੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਰੰਟ ਸੈਟਲਮੈਂਟ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅਧੀਨ ਕਵਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਸੋਚ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਧਿਆਨ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ, ਪਰ ਇਹ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਸੋ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ, there are many other issues before we stop this. Just one important point is the spousal.
Yes.
Is a big issue in our community.
Yes.
So any update on spousal?
I actually have a lot of good news on spousal. Yeah. So we heard from the community throughout the campaign, before we became the government, we heard that this was a big issue, keeping families apart, and we acted immediately. We tackled the backlog in the spousal. We cleared 19,000 cases and they were resolved. People got to reconnect with their families. And after that, we have instituted a new policy now that guarantees for the vast majority of cases, if you apply under the spousal stream and everything is complete, your case will be resolved and completed. Your process will be completed in 12 months or less. And in fact, a lot of the cases we're seeing already are much less than 12 months. So that's something that we're very proud of. We went from more than 3 years to now under 12 months. That's a very good, to almost 2/3 dramatic drop in the time that people were waiting to reconnect with their families. We want to connect families. We don't want to keep people apart. And one of the reasons we were able to bring the time down is because we tackled the backlog. The backlog was really a lot, and we tackled 19,000 cases. We will tackle the remaining cases. PR cards is another one. If you apply for a PR card renewal or a new one, you used to wait between 8 to 10 months. Now it's down to 50 days. So we went from months to days, and we want to bring it even more down to 14 days. As fast as 14 days, which I think we can easily do in the next little while. We are tackling the other challenges around caregivers and some of the other backlogs around private sponsorship of refugees. But our citizenship program, for example, our passport program is very successful. It fast service, efficient. You can get a passport in a few days, and the service, from the feedback that we get from the community, the service is very professional, very fast, people are very happy. And we want to expand that kind of experience to the rest of the immigration stream, and temporary resident visas, visitor visas. That's another area of success. 80% of them are now processed under 2 weeks. That's a huge improvement. We had, for example, just to pick an example, we had some challenges with Chandigarh. The community told the previous minister, the Honorable John McCallum, that the Chandigarh approval rate was very low. It was about 43%. Minister McCallum worked very hard and his team on Chandigarh, and now that percentage is high. Now it's 60%. Can we do more? Absolutely. But 43% to 60% is a big improvement. So we're working very hard.
So
on
in the end, quick comment. Can you make a comment on the lottery system for parental sponsorship?
Before I go to the parent and grandparent stream, on the visitor visas, we are doing our part, and like I told you, the process is much faster. Chandigarh, and generally it's 14 days or less. But I want to tell, this is a two-way street. We can do so much, but it would be very helpful for Canadians of all backgrounds to know that when you're applying for when you have relatives coming for a wedding or something else, make it easier for us. Apply early, apply online, complete the application, answer all the questions. Then it makes it easier for the visa office to process your case faster. So wedding season is coming up, I know, in a lot of communities. My message, please, is apply early. If you have family coming, or extended family or friends for a wedding or family reunion, tell them, you're applying for a visitor visa. It's very high volume. You save a lot of time if you can apply early and submit all the application and apply online, because when it's online, it's much faster to process.
Thank you, Minister, for joining us and sharing this very important information with our listener. ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ।
Thank you very much.
ਇਹ ਸਨ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਐਂਡ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਅਹਿਮਦ ਹੁਸੈਨ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਨੁਕਤਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੜੇ ਰੈਲੇਵੈਂਟ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਨੇ, ਰੈਲੇਵੈਂਟ ਸਵਾਲ ਨੇ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ। ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਹੁਣ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦਾ, ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ। ਰੱਬ ਰਾਖਾ।